Hey guys, welcome to The Strong Young Man. Water is an essential nutrient for life. It's commonly understood that humans can only survive for about 3 days without water. Not all water is created equal. The water that comes out of your tap goes through a tightly regulated purification process that includes contaminating the water with dangerous chemicals such as unstabilised chlorine, chloramine, fluoride, and the birth control pill. Other toxic chemicals can contaminate the potable water coming into your home, and they include polychlorinated biphenyls, herbicides, pesticides, arsenic, lead, barium, and other heavy metals. Here are the most problematic contaminants found in unfiltered tap water. Number 1. The birth control pill. 17-alpha ethynyl estradiol, also known as E52 or the birth control pill, is also found in tap water. Women taking hormonal birth control excrete 17-alpha ethynyl estradiol in their urine. The urine goes out the toilet to the treatment plant and then into the environment to repeat the evaporation, condensation, and precipitation cycle, which falls into our water catchments for collection. I do not recommend anyone take the birth control pill. It causes women so many problems that don't easily fix themselves after discontinuation. For men, it will cause even more problems. This synthetic female hormone was not made to be consumed, and this is one of the contributing factors that is leading to the downturn in society's fertility rate. Number 2. Chlorine. Chlorine is bactericidal. It kills bacteria. It is widely credited with ending outbreaks of waterborne disease in developed nations. Water treatment is an essential component to providing safe water to drink, but unfortunately most unfiltered tap water is over-sterilised and cannot be considered safe. Other technologies exist that could do this job safely, but they are not widely accepted yet. Consuming excess unfiltered tap water treated with chlorine is toxic for our bodies because it kills our own gut bacteria that help us digest and absorb nutrients from food. Chlorine can also negatively affect sleep and can react with organic compounds that cause more issues for the body. While we do need something to sterilise our tap water, I don't think it should be chlorine. And if it needs to be chlorine, then I don't think we should consume it. It should be filtered out before consumption. Number 3. Fluoride. Fluoride has been shown to help harden developing teeth, but has absolutely no benefit to adults and should be avoided by everyone who is over 8 years old. In fact, excessive fluoride exposure at any point in your life can negatively affect teeth and bones by causing fluorosis. This occurs when fluoride consumption exceeds a critical threshold. Given the variance between how much water is consumed not just between people, but also between seasons, it is impossible to determine a suitable fluoride concentration that is one size fits all. That is, if it does anything to begin with. The benefits to fluoride consumption only have a meaningful impact when the fluoride is applied topically and not dispersed throughout water. The poor state of oral health in the Western world is caused primarily by bad dietary choices, which negatively affect the release of hormones that form dentine. An inadequate production of dentine results in a lack of nutrients getting into the teeth. In addition to this, when there are nutrient deficiencies in other organs caused by poor dietary choices, the body can and will pull nutrients from the teeth as required. This weakens the tooth structure and can result in fractured teeth. I've been avoiding fluoride for the past 4 years with no issues, although my completely natural unprocessed diet likely plays a role in my oral health. For my full oral care protocol, see episode 17. Fluoride is also a neurotoxin, causing cognitive deficits in children with elevated fluoride exposure. Recent epidemiological results support the notion that elevated fluoride intake during development results in a considerable IQ deficit. In a study where groups of children were exposed to 8 parts per million of fluoride in tap water, were found to have lower average IQs, less children attaining high IQ, and more children affected by low IQ. Neurotoxicity appears to be dose dependent, and safe exposures are likely to be below the currently accepted or recommended fluoride concentrations in drinking water. Fluoride is claimed to be a cumulative poison and biologically very active, even at low concentrations. Only 50% of the daily ingested fluoride is excreted through the kidneys. The remainder accumulates in the body, in areas such as the bones causing them to fracture easier, tissue such as the heart valves affecting their function, and the pineal gland affecting circadian rhythm as well as how you make decisions and how you perceive reality. For peak performance and psychological development, the pineal gland must remain healthy. If the government is putting fluoride in our water and lowering our ability to make decisions and perceive reality, then it gives more credence to the theory that the government is controlling us by mass medication of society. Just something else to think about. It is standard practice to obtain medical consent for all medicine. Fluoridation of community drinking water should be considered unethical because individuals are not being asked for their informed consent. Unfortunately, this is not the case in most Western nations, with countries in Europe being the exception. My solution to this problem is to let you guys know how you can work around this issue by implementing your own solution to drinking uncontaminated water. Here are your options. Option number 1. Drink water that doesn't come from a treatment plant. Drinking purified water sourced from a flowing river or natural spring is the easiest way to avoid the chemicals found in tap water. For most people, this will mean purchasing water off the shelf from the supermarket or local bottle shop. There are a couple of things to look out for here. Firstly, make sure your water comes from a spring or a natural environment. It should say so on the label. Sometimes a company will bottle the same water that comes from your municipality's water supply, just with a label. This means you are paying a premium for something that comes from your tap for about 1/4 cent per litre. It will also mean that it comes with nasty chemicals that you were trying to avoid to begin with. Wild water from a spring, hyporheic zone, aquifer, or glacier is always going to be the best source of water because it has been purified over millions of years and has been hidden away where modern humans have not been able to contaminate it. Look to the label to make sure the water you drink comes from one of these sources. Do not drink from plastic bottles if you can afford to. This is crucial for your safety, as plastic bottled water exposed to sunlight will cause microplastics to seep into the water, which you will then consume. This causes disruptions to your natural testosterone production, which affects fertility. You can't control where the plastic bottled water is stored prior to your consumption, and so these must be avoided as much as possible. These microplastics can contain phthalates and bisphenols, such as BPA, BPAF, BPB, BPF, and BPS. All of these are disruptive to your endocrine system. If you combine this with a consumption of other known endocrine disruptors, an episode on this later, you will accumulate these toxic disruptors and cause other issues for your health. If you care at all about your health or the environment, avoid plastic bottles where possible. Instead, look into glass bottles, reusable aluminium water bottles, or aluminium cans. My health is so important to me, and so I invest in canned water from a company called Wallaby Water. I'm not sponsored by them, I'm just a consumer. This water comes from the springs of Mount Buninyong, an extinct volcano in Victoria, Australia. Ancient lava fragments filter and add a rich blend of natural minerals to the water. This increases the pH of the water to approximately 8.0, which improves hydration and overall health. It also comes in sparkling form, which I prefer over still form. If you look in your local area, there is sure to be a canned or glass bottled water supply that you can buy from. This industry is set to take off in the next decade, so if you can't find one now, you can be sure that one will become available soon. Store your water in a cool, chemical-free environment away from direct sunlight to protect the integrity of your water. Option number 2, filter your tap water. Many of the contaminants present in tap water can be filtered out using a good water filter. The average Joe who is somewhat handy with the tools will be able to install one of these filters relatively easily directly under the sink. Beware of cheap filters that only filter out sediment. These are designed for recycled water. Ideally, what you want is a multiple stage filter that targets chlorine, chloramines, and fluoride. These filters will also take care of other contaminants in the water. There are also filters with an additional process that make the water slightly more alkaline through adding minerals to the water. These are the best water filters. A good premium water filter that I've installed in my home is the Ultra Pure Argon Triple Water Filter. I'm not affiliated with this company either. I just use their filtration system so I don't have to order truckloads of water, which costs money and is a pain to order and then store. These filters can be installed adjacent to your tap so that the people who need to consume fluoridated water can still drink from the main faucet. I use this filtered water for my coffee, tea, and any water that I put in my body. Don't underestimate the effects of drinking uncontaminated water, especially if you consume several litres per day. Toxic chemicals in your drinking water exert a dose-dependent effect, and the more water you consume, the more important it is that you need to consume uncontaminated tap water. Thanks for watching today's episode. In episode 53, I'll go through how to care for your skin. Subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified when it drops. Catch you then.